Hello, Fan Flackers. I hope you're having a very nice 3 day weekend. And, of course, honoring our fallen heroes. Uh, that's a lot of people try to celebrate Memorial Day like it's the 4th of July, and it's not the same thing. We're honoring the people that lost their lives, making sure that this country would stay what it is. Unfortunately, in recent times, we've lost a lot of our freedoms and so forth, but I'm hoping that with this next election, maybe things will change. But we'll see. But anyway, on to our show. You'll notice behind me all the little skulls back there. That is in honor of the new camera that the company that I work for has produced and released just this last week, the Komodo X. I was going to show a video. In fact, I had pre-recorded a 40-minute show that included a video review of the camera, but after watching it, I didn't care for the way the video looked. It was really poor quality. It didn't come out good, so I decided to just wing it. And look, this show is unscripted. This is just me talking to you off the top of this bald head. So hopefully you're fine with it. I got up very early this morning with my granddaughter. My late wife and I used to go to IHOP every Sunday morning and have breakfast and then go shopping together. And that was like our thing that we did all the time. And I've missed that since she's been gone. So my granddaughter decided that it was her job to have me go with her to IHOP. So that's what we did this morning, and we had a nice time. We didn't go shopping, but we had a nice time. I'm sure she wouldn't have minded going shopping with Grandpa. She's 8. She's a cute little thing. All grandpas think that their grandkids are cute little things. Let's face it. But I absolutely do, and I'm right. So anyway, this was at my employer. This was a very nice week. The camera did very well. We sold out the number of cameras that we have produced so far. We're making more, so if you want one, please put it in order. We'll get you one. Just take a little while. We're making them as fast as we can, but they're complicated. And we're very careful about making sure that they're what you want. So if you are familiar with Red Digital Cinema and you want one of those cameras, we'll get you one. It's been very well received by the industry. In case you're not familiar with Red Digital Cinema, most of the Marvel films were shot on our cameras, especially the most recent ones. A lot of the Netflix stuff is shot on it, including Queen's Gambit, that was shot on it. The latest Ant-Man movie, that was shot on it. Just a lot of people like the camera. And like I said, the reviews have been very, very good for the camera. Oh, let's see here. Like winging it, my mind pulls in stuff from lots of different places. One thing I did want to go into with you is, hang on just a moment. This may come up on your screen for a second. I didn't get a chance to put the slides up here. So, there, okay. What I'm going to show you is in honor of the, I'm not going to say loved one because I never knew the man, but he was a family member who lost his life in World War II. So in honor of him, I'm going to, here, this is his headstone. And as you can see, the last name, it's the same as me. This is my father's brother. And he was killed in World War II on October 7th, 1944. And this is him on the right. That is my father on the left. I think I look like my father. At least I did when I was younger. Maybe not so much now, but when I was younger I did. And that's on the island of Peleliu where he was killed. This was a temporary grave that they put in there. He was later moved to where he was for this, which is in Texas. And then there is a photograph of him in uniform. He was only 19 when he was killed, which is sad for anybody to die that young. And this is a high school photograph of Louis Claude. I have his middle name. Why I would have preferred Mark Lewis Tanner rather than Mark Claude Tanner, but I don't know what the purpose behind this was, but I ended up with Claude. So I hope you find that interesting, and that is my salute to my family member. Any of you that has a family member that we've lost, please let me know. I'll mention their name at least, or I don't know if you can send me a photo by comments. I'm not really sure how that works. My sister is much better with this stuff than I am. I'm not bad with computers, but a lot of this online things, I haven't really gotten into it. I'm going to start. Okay, I want to tell you something. I want to give you guys something you find interesting so you'll come back and watch every week. That's why I try very hard to do a live show. I feel guilty doing a recorded show. I was going to do a recorded show today. I had it all recorded, but I just, you want to come out here and see the genuine article. So that's what I tried to do. And by the way, these X's here, this was actually at the unveiling ceremony at Red Digital Cinema in Lake Forest, where I work. And they had a little thing and a celebration of the camera, and we did it at all of our different locations around the world. And so I took a photograph of the backdrop because I thought it would be kind of cool for the podcast if I had the backdrop behind me. Now, here, let me any of you who have used StreamYard knows how this is. You can't do anything in the background. It's right out there for everybody to see. I've got some other slides here I want to show you. Okay, this is the camera. This is the Komodo X. It's a very pretty camera. I've inspected every single one of these outside pieces and some inside pieces too. Oh, that's something I'll talk about later. There is one of the owners of the company holding the camera. Okay, since I showed it to you, let's go back to it. This is the infamous 1/6 scale Batmobile. It's sold new. It's I forget the name of the company that made it. It's a JFW Dioramas, something like that. And they sold it for $1,500. It had some flaws, but it's huge. Every kid would just love to have something like this. But it sold for $1,500 new. And now they're on, about the only place you can get ones on eBay right now. And they're between $2,500 and $3,000. I've seen one as high as $5,000. Asking price. Didn't sell for that. So if you want one, that's where you got to go. I'll tell you, the two 6-inch figures that go in this Batmobile are amazing likenesses of Burt Ward and Adam West. Burt Ward played Robin, of course, and Adam West played Batman. And they are wonderful likenesses. Best action figure I've seen in terms of looking like the person. They obviously did some kind of scan of their faces or something at one time and used those, or just had a great sculptor, because they're just, look it up on YouTube, it's amazing. All right, now what's going on, the reason I'm mentioning this, is from my Protector Mark segment that I tried to do on the show. I'm trying to help people from getting ripped off on Facebook. And there are so many of these people on Facebook that what they do, just to tell you if you're not familiar with it, they go on YouTube and they find a video like this. These two gentlemen did a review, an unboxing, you've probably seen that, of the Batmobile when it first came out. And they posted it on YouTube. So what this I'm going to say company, what this person has done is they put this on there and then they attach it to an ad that pretends to sell you this Batmobile for $39. Well, I mean, anybody that looks at this thing would know you couldn't possibly buy this thing for $39, even if it was still available. There's no way anybody make this for anywhere near $39. I'm surprised they were able to make it and sell it for $1,500, to be honest with you. So anyway, so this is just a ripoff. And there's a ton of them out there. The NAO dancing robot video where they did the same thing. They had pictures of this $8,000 dancing robot, and they're trying to tell you they can sell it to you for $39. And, I'm sorry. But that's just wrong. It's just wrong. And Facebook should be held accountable for allowing this to happen on their platform. They should be. People should get together and file a class action lawsuit against Facebook for allowing that to happen. Mark Zuckerberg, you should be ashamed of yourself for allowing people on your platform to get ripped off. You should be ashamed of yourself. It's just not right. I'll tell you one thing, if I owned Facebook, I'd have a team of people trying to shut this crap down. I can tell you right now I would. So, I'm saying this out here on a podcast that goes on Facebook is probably not the wisest thing I ever did, because I may get shut down here on Facebook just for saying that. But, I'm sorry, but it's true. You want to tell me I'm wrong, Zuckerberg? Come on with me. We'll talk about it. I can see that happening, can't you? So, okay, we've discussed Memorial Day. We've discussed the ripoffs, although I do have a couple more here. Let me see here. I think I've got another picture I wanted to show you. Ah, yes. This. There's another company. Like I said, this isn't really a company. It's just some sleazeball who is stealing the image from this Herbert Johnson, I believe, is the company that actually made the hats that were used in Indiana Jones for the Indiana Jones movies. That famous brown hat that he wore. Now, those hats are, beautiful hats. made by Herbert Johnson. They sell for $500. This is not a cheap hat. So this company, like I say, not company, this scumbag has taken the photos from the Herbert Johnson website, has posted them. I think they have a little video showing how they're made, and posted that video and put it out there that it's $49. Now, I'll say one thing, at least you get something for your $49. And this is what you get. I mean, if they're going to send you a hat, you would think they would at least put it in a box that will not destroy the hat. Instead, they stuff it in that little tiny 3x3 box. And that right there, what you are looking at, is what you actually receive. Some of the hats vary a little bit. That's the closest in what they're advertising. At least it's the right color. You know? And somebody actually steamed one of these hats and put it back into shape, and it still wasn't that great looking, even with that done. But this is literally actually what you get when you buy one of those hats. Now, Herbert Johnson's not very happy with that. They don't want people misrepresenting their company and putting this out there. And it's amazing, these stuff that they have misrepresented. There was one guy who reproduced the Neiman Marcus website, put it on his website, labeled as Neiman Marcus, and was taking orders for Neiman Marcus for product, and I guess just not sending anything, just taking the money. So he's done it to Amazon. There was an electric bike that was being sold on Amazon for $1,500. And Amazon does these pallet things where things that were shipped back to Amazon that don't work, they throw them on a pallet and sell you the pallet for, whatever price they come up with. But you're not guaranteed to get anything in particular. You're just guaranteed to get a pallet full of broken stuff. So, that's what you want. So they were saying that they had a pallet deal for these electric bicycles. And they were selling them for, I think it was $39. That's their, either $39 or $49 is their key price. That's the one they like to put out there. So that's what they were suggesting, is that it was for that price. Now, let's see. Let me take this off the screen since I'm not talking about it anymore. But anyway, so they had that electric bike out there. I have an ad, but I don't. StreamYard requires you to convert all of your images to PDF files for whatever reason. And I haven't done that with that ad. So anyway, so they're pretending to be Amazon. There was even one where they were trying to, listen to this one. They were trying to tell you that they would sell you a car that you could, an actual working automobile that you could get inside and drive. And they were going to sell you this for $39. And they were actually doing this under the Sam's Club name, which is owned by Walmart. I contacted Walmart, and I told them about this, and they weren't very happy. It disappeared pretty soon after that. So that's what I am. This protector mark thing is not just something I'm putting out there. I am actually trying to do something to to get rid of this crap off of Facebook, because I enjoy Facebook. I enjoy keeping company with all of you guys. It's fun. I don't get out that much anymore at my age. I go to work, and that's about it. I go to work, go to bed. That's about it. Mm-mm. So anyway, I am actually trying to do something. But a lot of these companies don't even have somebody you can talk to. I found somebody after a lot of digging at Walmart. I found somebody I could actually tell about this. They had a fraud department. Not fraud, fraud department. And at Amazon, I couldn't find anybody. Nobody. Not even somebody. I went to the chat thing, but it's just this AI automated thing. And they could, oh, are you having trouble with the underwear you ordered? No. So anyway, a lot of this stuff, the companies have themselves to blame because they're not paying attention to what's going on with their name. I mean, I have a little company that I sell antique toys, and not that much. It's Toys Etc. TOYZETC.com. And if somebody was defrauding people using my website, I'd shut the damn thing down. If I couldn't figure out a way to stop them, I'd just close it, because I'm not going to allow people to dirty my good name with something like that. I mean, I've been very careful with that name and made sure that if you bought something from me, you got what you bought. So anyway, that's my protector mark segment. I don't know if you guys like that or if you think it's helpful. I've got the comments thing here on the website. And when did I add that again? Hang on. There. Okay. I've got the comments here on the website. I haven't got any today. If you have something you'd like to talk to me about, comment. I'm on Facebook under my name. I'm not pretending to be Ellen DeGeneres or anything. It's just me. And I haven't seen any phony me's. Hi, Kim. Thank you. And I haven't seen any phony me's out there so far. I'll tell you, that happens. These people clone people's accounts. And a lot of this fraud, that's where it's coming from. They'll be advertising as being, they come up with some weird name, and a lot of them, they'll post the same ad under 20 different names and put it all over the place. And they've got gimbals, and it's all somebody else's product. Just don't get me wrong, all of those ads are actual products, but this company doesn't sell them. They're just using the video of a good product to rip people off. I don't know if you know what a gimbal is. A gimbal, you put your phone on it, and it keeps the phone from shaking and stuff when you walk around and take video. They're really cool. I've got a couple of them. There's a company advertising one, and it's Scope, SKOP, or something similar to that. And that's a company that makes it. Well, they sell it for $350. Not for $39 that these people are advertising it for. And then they've had tanks. They had a video of a Korean gentleman that made a tank for his kid, and they were advertising this tank for $49. And it was like, 6 foot long and had treads, and you couldn't possibly make something like that and sell it for $30. You couldn't make it and sell it for $4,000, as he found out. Then there was one where these wooden Beatles figures playing music to the time of the music. You might have seen that on Facebook. It was quite a bit out there quite a few places on Facebook. And he was advertising that as something that was for sale. And it wasn't even a product. It was just something somebody made, some artist made. It was really cool, but you couldn't possibly make that, sell it for profit. Also, there was one, this one was used a lot. It was all over the place, of the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek. And it had lights inside of it. And they were selling this for $39. And what it actually was a company called Polar Lights, a company called Polar Lights that makes the model of the Enterprise. It's a big model. It's about maybe 2.5 feet long. And then they also have a kit to put the lights in, and it's $190. So, you're talking quite a bit of cash here, about $400 or so, to do this, and you have to build it. So you have to have the talent and the skill and the patience to build this thing. You're not going to get it for $39. And anybody that's stupid enough to think that something like that would be $39, really, I'm sorry, but you deserve to lose your money. Unless you're old like me and just can't tell the difference. But I can still tell the difference. But some people can't. But we want to protect those people. I don't want to see anybody getting ripped off. I hate that. Let's see. What else did they have out there? Oh, they had an artist made of the Stargate. If you're a science fiction fan, you've heard of it. It was a television series called Stargate with the guy that played MacGyver in it, Richard Dean Anderson. And he had built a replica Stargate, maybe 2 feet in diameter, and with all the associated artifacts and equipment that went with it. And it all worked, lit up. I mean, the Stargate didn't work, but it looked like it was working. And it had a mirror, one of those unending mirrors in the middle of it. And I mean, it was really cool looking. And they were pretending to be selling that. So, if you see something like that, send me an email, let me know. Because I want to make sure that I follow it. If you watch on Facebook, if you see one of those ads, look under comments. You'll probably see me. Because I get out there and I try to label these things as ripoffs early on. As soon as I see them, I try to label them as ripoffs so people are aware that this is not someplace you want to send your money. It's just terrible. All right. I'm done with that segment. Okay. My daughter, and I'm sorry for the focus, I cannot get this thing to stay focused. If you're thinking of buying a webcam, do not buy an Anker webcam. This is an Anker webcam. When it's focused, it's great, but it will not stay focused. Nothing I can do. I've tried moving everything that was close to it. I've tried everything I can think of, but I cannot get it to stay focused. So I'm looking for a better webcam. And I'll tell you, it's not really easy to find a good webcam anymore. A lot of the companies have stopped making them, and the ones that are still making them, I like this one. I use a green screen, as I'm sure you've realized. And most of the webcams have a very wide field of view. That means you get the field of view. And most of them are real wide. So I have to have the camera practically sticking up my nose to keep the sides of my green screen from showing. Well, what I like about the Anker webcam, when it's working correctly, is that it has an adjustment so you can narrow the field of view so you don't catch the sides of my green screen behind me. So but I can't find another one that's a good quality webcam that has that function. If you run across one, you please send me an email and I'll buy me a new webcam. Because this was not cheap. This was a $70 webcam, which in the webcam world is not cheap. I mean, they range from $29 up to $300-400, but I don't need the stuff that's on the $300 or $400 one. It would mostly be, and most of those don't have the adjustable field of view. So, all right, now I see that's how easily when you're doing a live show that you can get drug off onto something else. All right, my daughter, as I started to say before I got out of focus, my daughter and son-in-law and grandkids all went to see Little Mermaid this week. And as I am sure a lot of you are aware, there was a song in that movie that has shook up the world of Disney more than anything I've seen in a long time. And a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. And it's kind of unusual. I wouldn't say it's a rap song, but it's kind of a rap song made by a young Asian lady. When I say Asian, because I don't know if she's from China or so, I apologize for lumping everyone from the Orient into one category, but just because of my ignorance of where she's from. So, my apologies. But her handle, I'm sure this isn't really her name, but her handle is Aquafina, which of course it's a respelling of the water company name. Why she's using that for a name, I don't know. And she recorded a song called The Scuttlebutt. And it's that, I think it's the little crab, or no, the bird. That's right, I apologize. The bird is the one that's doing the singing. Now, while I listened to the song several times, because I wanted to have some knowledge of what I was going to speak about. It kind of grows on you a little bit if you listen to it a few times. It's interesting the way she words things. The bird's supposed to be kind of scatterbrained, so she has made the song like that. But you really don't understand what he's trying to say until you listen to it 3 or 4 times. And even then, I don't think it's a song that's going to end up in the Disney Hall of Fame in terms of, really cool songs. The original movie, and this one has apparently, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I apologize if I say something wrong about the movie, because I have not seen it yet. I'm going to see it tomorrow with my grandson, who wants to go see it again. So I will have more information next week about the movie. I'll talk to you about the movie next week. And maybe some more about the song. Maybe the song plays better when you watch the movie. But I have read, I think I read probably 30 reviews. And there was only one that was even partially okay with the song. All the rest of them were absolutely, and there was the worst one called the song horrific. Now, to call anything in a Disney movie, children's movie, as being horrific, now that's I don't think that's happened before. But I think Disney ought to think about maybe pulling that song out of the movie. I don't think they've ever done anything like that. they've gotten rid of entire movies because of, you know, here, let's go into something here real quick. Song of the South. I watched that movie. I have the movie on DVD. And it had been so long since I saw it. I was thinking, oh, you know, maybe these people are calling it racist. Maybe they're not. I watched it, and I'm sorry, it's racist. It is. The movie should not be played. There's some of the songs and the actors and so forth that Disney should find some way to use what they put out, what they produced. You know, the Uncle Remus. I mean, he was a wonderful actor. The songs he did were good, and he wasn't racist. I mean, but the portrayal of the slaves, and they made the slaves all out like they were happy to be slaves. And I'm sorry, but that movie is racist. It should not be played anymore in its whole, its an entirety. But some of the songs, you can still use the song. That isn't, you know, that doesn't make it racist. I think they could have reworked. You know, Splash Mountain didn't incorporate any of that into the ride. The ride just showed the happy little animated things from the film. You know, and they could have left that alone. You don't have to completely obliterate everything just to not play the film anymore, because it doesn't belong in polite society anymore. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. So anyway, that was what I had to say about that. And you know, back to the Komodo X, the camera. Now, look, just to tell you, I work for Red, but I'm not. I'm just an inspector. I'm no director of anything, or you know. So I get no reward for promoting their stuff. But this is a hell of a camera. And one thing that is kind of interesting that I've seen, a lot of people want to trade in their Komodos for a Komodo X. I don't know how that would work, because then Red would end up with a pile of cameras that, you know, nobody's buying anymore because they all want the Komodo X. But the Komodo X is $5,000 more than the Komodo. You know, in today's economy, I don't know that $5,000 is that much money. I mean, it's a lot of money, but you know, you couldn't buy a car with $5,000 anymore. You know, there was a time you could buy a new car for $5,000. Well, that isn't today. You know, let's face it, the prices have gone up quite a bit. But it's really a good camera. You can upload to the internet your video from a remote location. I mean, that's pretty special. And Kim, take a look on YouTube and look at some of the video that has been produced by, and this is a new camera, so a lot of people don't have it yet. There's only 300 of them out there. So, you know, and most of the ones that are putting video out there are ones that have been loaned to production people so there'll be some video out there for people to look at. And I'll tell you, it's really an amazing camera. If you're into doing video, want to become a movie maker, this is what you want to buy. You want to reach into your pocketbook and you want to spend the money and buy one of these things, because you'll produce some amazing stuff. I mean, like I said, it's crystal clear. The lighting, you know, it's just, And you can shoot in low light. It's really something. Obviously, you've seen some of the camera, the film shot with it, and it's something else. And this camera, that's the other thing. The Komodo camera is only about yay big. I mean, here, let me go. It's only about yay big, square. It's not huge. Now, when you add all the attachments, that's the thing with the Komodo. Well, all the Red cameras is you have to put pieces with it. You have to put a screen and a handle and, of course, a lens and So by the time you've bought all that stuff, you're spending some money. But a lot of people, a lot of the film industry people already have a lot of those things for their previous Red cameras or other cameras, and the lenses, the Komodo uses a Canon mount, so if you've got Canon lenses, they'll fit on there. So if you well, let's see, I'm not a big expert on photography, so there are two different versions of Canon mounts. So make sure if you are thinking about buying one of these that your lenses are the correct version. Because I think it's a EF, I don't remember, but it's different. They have two different types of mounts. Here I go fuzzing out again. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go yell. Like I say, if you guys have a webcam that really works good and that has a field of view limiter, tell me, please. Because this focus problem is, and I have contacted Anchor. They actually have had, I'm not going to say currently have, but they have had a very good customer support group. I'll tell you a little story about Anchor. I liked Anchor's headphones. They had very good sound. I liked them. So I bought a pair. I've always been a fan of Anchor products up until this webcam. Their batteries. Oh, you have to get a new one. Maybe I've got my other webcam that I used before this one. If I can find it, I'll send it to you, Kim. The built-in, most of the time the built-in webcams aren't worth having. And even if your webcam on your camera is broken, you can plug in with the USB another webcam, and they've got. If I don't have that old webcam, you can buy one for $39 on Amazon. So, and most of the Logitech ones are okay. If the field of view thing isn't a problem for you, that's a good one. But I'll take a look and see if I can find Windows. Oh, that last Windows update was a nightmare. It gave me so much trouble, and several things stopped functioning after the last Windows update. Then they did a add-on update, and then that fixed them. So Windows saw there was a problem. So at least that. A lot of these companies, Apple, since, okay, here, I'm going to give you a little diatribe here. Hang on. Apple used to be a wonderful company. They made great products. The iPhone, original iPhone, and subsequent replacements for the iPhone, their iPads, early iPads. The iPhone did not butt dial. You can have it in your pocket, scrape it back and forth across your shirt and everything, and it would not butt dial. Now, and I've had nothing but iPhones. I have never had another, well, since smartphones came out. Before the smartphones came out, I had a Motorola. You know, I can understand why Steve Jobs got upset with the Motorola phones. They were not a lot of fun. But anyway, since the smartphones came out, I have had nothing but iPhones. That's all I've had. And so I'm a pretty good judge of what's what on iPhones. And since Steve Jobs died, their product line has gone to hell. Sorry. The iPad. The iPad used to have a magnetic cover that it just snapped off. You could go like this with it, and it would snap back onto the iPad. It was great. I went through 5 or 6 of those things over the years, different colors. Then all of a sudden, about 2 iPads ago, they no longer worked. And I did some reading, and Apple couldn't figure out how to make it work anymore. They had let all the engineers go that did that, and none of the current engineers were smart enough to figure out how to make it work. I'm sorry, but that's really bad. If you're doing something like that, you just don't know what you're doing. And Apple, I'm sorry. And these new iPhones, they never would butt dial. Now I take one out of my pocket, and it's about to delete all my apps. You know, they got the little minus signs and they're squiggling around. I didn't do that. It has literally deleted apps before without me telling it to. It just did it. And this is the problem with, now I don't know, I know nothing about that other, I don't even remember the other brand of smartphone, but I don't know anything about those. So maybe those work much better. But I can tell you the iPhones are losing it. And they're expensive. The last iPhone I got, I paid like $1,400 for it. And that's crazy. Something you can put in your pocket costs $1,400. It doesn't even work as good as the one before it. The one I replaced it with, the only reason I replaced my iPhone 7 was because the battery was not working right. It was dying in about 30 minutes. So, okay, you see, I'm getting comments from one of our longtime watchers, Kim. I won't say her last name, but Kim, and she just told me she has a Samsung Galaxy Ultra. Now, do you have that problem with your Samsung Galaxy Ultra, Kim? Does it butt dial or delete apps on its own, or is that strictly something coming out of the apples? I'll tell you if she gets a chance to respond. I know you can't see the comments, sorry. Only I can see the comments. See, this is one of the reasons that doing a podcast on your own, one person, is difficult. Because my throat is starting to go. Because I've been talking constantly for almost an hour. I'll tell you, by next week, I am going to try to have a few little video clips. It's hard to find them. First of all, there is the matter of copyrights. Okay, Kim. Yeah, so the Galaxy Ultra apparently doesn't have some of those other problems, but it has problems of its own. So Now you see what one thing that the Samsung made a deal with Anchor Hawking, who makes the Gorilla Glass that Apple used to use in all of their iPhones, and now the Galaxy has the Gorilla Glass, and the iPhones all are just plastic now. Somebody said there's something sapphire, but it's just plastic basically. But I have heard that the iPhones break a lot easier than they used to. I've got this super sturdy case on mine after I paid that kind of money for it. And I don't let any of my grandkids play with it, although they always want to. But they're always playing with mommy's phone. Although one of them dropped mommy's old phone in the toilet. So they ain't playing with my phone, not when I paid $1,400 for it. Yep. Now, I did buy, Kim's talking about her phone, and it does so many things, and it's true, all the smartphones do. You know, I don't know how I would get by without my smartphone. No, I was a source inspector for SpaceX for a couple of years. And if I hadn't had my phone, I couldn't have done my job. Because I was going someplace different to work every day. Sometimes I'd go to 2 or 3 different places in one day. And they'd send me to the middle of someplace I'd never been before. And I couldn't have got there if I didn't have my map. And although the mapping segment on the iPhone is just certainly not what it used to be. I used to like the old Garmin Nuvi. I don't know if you remember that. That was before iPhones got that mapping capability and the GPS in them. Garmin had a separate GPS device that would navigate you to places, and it was okay. It had its problems. It had trouble keeping up with road construction. Sometimes they'd close a road off and they'd still be trying to take you through there. There was a place over in Fullerton like that where they had closed this road permanently, built a building there, and several times it tried to take me right through that building. But one thing I liked about Garmin is they had different voices you could choose. And I had mine set up with Marge Simpson. So I had Marge Simpson telling me how to go places. That was fun. Yeah, they don't have anything like that now. There's a lot of cute stuff on the iPhone with Siri, like if you ask Siri or tell Siri that you saw a little silhouette of a man, she will go into singing the rest of Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. She doesn't sing it, and the last time she didn't say it, it just printed on the screen. So, oh, you had Dracula? Kim is saying she had the Dracula voice on her Garmin. I still have my Garmin in my car, just I haven't used it in about 1,000,000 years. Kim, you're going to have to come on here and be my guest host. Since Melody's not going to be with us every week, I need another host. It's hard to talk for an hour. Tell you what, sit there in your room and talk to the mirror for an hour. And that's what it's like doing the show by yourself. It's not easy. Now, Melody should be back next week. She's going to, alternate every other week. So it should be a regular me and Melody show next week. So keep my fingers crossed, and I haven't talked to Melody for a couple of days, so I'll call her and see how she's doing. Make sure everything's still on for that. And, well, we're closing up on the end of the show. I hope you guys have enjoyed what I put out here for you. This is an off-the-cuff, completely unrehearsed. I had one note. Here, I'll show you. That's my note, because I wasn't sure I could remember that lady's name. And it's certainly the first, oh, okay. Good. Good to hear. I'm glad you're watching. You haven't been able to watch it either. I'm not sure what you're talking about, what you weren't able to watch. That's my sister Melody is actually commenting here. So at least she's out there and she's alive. So we don't have to worry that she has keeled over or anything. So, Melody, are you going to be with me next week? I'm talking to the air. Well, she might have gone away. Anyway, so we've got 3 minutes left. Okay. I don't quite know what that means, Kim. She is here, or at least she was here for a second. At 12:55 she was here. But sometimes she just pops in and pops out. So hopefully Melody will be with us next week. I'll be talking to her during the week. We'll set something up. Anyway, okay, I don't want to just sit here and read comments. That's the one bad thing when you're one person on a show, is if you do read the comments, then the people that are watching that are not sending comments are like, what the hell's he doing? He's just sitting there looking off to the side. So anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's off-the-cuff impromptu podcast. And I hope you'll all be back next week. I'll try to have this planned out a little better. Although, I don't know, sometimes without planning it comes out okay. I actually think this was better than the one I pre-recorded. If you saw the crappy video from the review of the camera, they were talking about how wonderful the footage was, and then they showed footage like it was shot through a bowl of cottage cheese. It looked terrible. So anyway, all right, you guys all take care of yourselves, and let's see here. And I am going to play the theme song, and then I'm going to go away. So you guys all take it easy, and we'll see you next week. Ta-ta. Bye, Kim.